Hey guys, it's Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society, and I am here with a very exciting announcement. I am very, very excited about this. You may have already seen it on our Instagram. The reason I'm doing this video is that I've gotten some questions already about this announcement. It's a Blu-ray release, and I did some digging and I found some information that I thought might be interesting to some people. So there are going to be three parts to this video. I'm going to talk about the announcement itself. I'm going to talk about the info that I dug up related to the questions that people were asking me, and I'm going to show you my collection of Wong Kar-wai films because I figured, hey, why not? There's only 5 of them, so that's not going to be a very long section of the video, and I'll do that at the end for people who aren't interested in that. So the Criterion Collection has announced something called The World of Wong Kar-wai. It is a 7 film box set, and this is something that people have been there have been rumors about this for a while, like a couple years at this point, because Wong Kar-wai was seen repeatedly visiting the Criterion offices, and so people were like, well, something's got to be up. They've released other movies of his in the past, maybe there's a box set coming. And then when they sent out their little, they do these little doodles every year that they send out around the end of the year, and each one is a visual clue as to releases for the next year. And in last year's release, some people thought, oh, that one of those things is the Wong Kar-wai box set. So the films in the box set are, and I have the Criterion Collection site pulled up on my computer here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read you the list of films and then some of the extras that are on there, and then I will talk about some of the questions that I got about it. I also should tell you that I'm not in touch with Criterion. I did try emailing them yesterday about this release, and asked them, like, if you have any promo material you want me to share, like if you have any additional information, because Criterion does not always put every single technical specification of their releases on their website the way that other companies do. So I just asked them if they had anything that I could share. I probably won't hear back from them because Criterion's such a big company. I'm kind of a small fish in that pond, but we'll see. And if I do hear back from them, I will share that information with you. So about the box set. The films in it are, and they're kind of the ones that I think you would expect from a big Wong Kar-wai retrospective box set: As Tears Go By, Days of Being Wild, Chungking Express, Fallen Angels, which, if you may or may not know, that is the film that made me fall in love with Hong Kong cinema. I had seen Jackie Chan movies before that, but I always kind of thought of Jackie as like this kind of like standalone action star. There was nothing in my mind that was like, oh, he's from a scene, like a cinema culture that I need to go like look at. It wasn't until I saw Fallen Angels, the Wong Kar-wai film, where I was like, oh man, I need to start watching Hong Kong cinema. I think I was like 16 when I saw that movie. Happy Together, In the Mood for Love, and 2046, which is one of my favorite movies, personally, a movie that I think is super underrated. And if you're wondering why I don't talk about Wong Kar-wai as much on this channel as I do Jackie Chan, Chow Yun-fat, John Woo, people like that, Shaw Brothers, especially given the fact that I obviously love these movies, if 2 of them are listed in this box set are like 2 of my favorite movies, I just think I have a different audience, Like, I think the audience that I have is like genre films, like action, martial arts, that kind of stuff. And I think that Wong Kar-wai is more of like the art house crowd, like kind of like more international art house, like people who like Bergman, Fellini, Godard, Truffaut, like that kind of stuff. I think Wong Kar-wai fits more comfortably in that. And so whenever I post stuff about Wong Kar-wai on Instagram, it just doesn't do as well. And I did a poll once being like, do you guys actually like Wong Kar-wai? Like, should I stop posting about this? And the results were inconclusive, so I got nowhere from that. So what I'm going to do now is read you what are listed as the special features from this set. New 4K digital restorations of Chungking Express, Fallen Angels, Happy Together, In the Mood for Love, and 2046, approved by director Wong Kar-wai with 5.1 surround. New 4K digital restoration of As Tears Go By and Days of Being Wild with uncompressed monaural soundtracks. There's a new program in which Wong Kar-wai answers questions from other filmmakers about his filmmaking technique. There's an alternative version of Days of Being Wild. There's a short film from 2000, a short film from 2004, an interview and cinema lesson with Wong from the 2001 Cannes Film Festival, 3 making of documentaries, episode of the television series Moving Pictures from 1996 featuring Wong Kar-wai and cinematographer Christopher Doyle, interviews from 2005 and 2002 from Christopher Doyle, excerpts from a 1994 British Film Institute audio interview with Maggie Cheung about her work on Days of Being Wild, program from 2012 on In the Mood for Love's soundtrack, press conference for In the Mood for Love for the 2000 Toronto Film Festival, deleted scenes, alternate endings, behind-the-scenes footage of promo reel, music videos, trailers, and then there's the deluxe packaging, which is kind of like a French fold book. So, I posted about this on Instagram, and right away I got a couple comments. Well, one of the comments was, "Why aren't all of his films in here?" I don't know the answer to that, but my assumption would be the Grandmaster is owned by the Weinstein Company. Ashes of Time, I think, is owned by Sony, the U.S. rights, and My Blueberry Nights was a U.S. production, right? And so I would imagine that the rights to all three of those films would be expensive and not worth buying, because I don't think that My Blueberry Nights would add anything to this set that would make people like change their mind, like, oh, I'm going to get it. And I bet that that would be expensive for them to get, and that cost would have to be passed on to the person who's buying it. For Grandmaster, there's already a Blu-ray release of that, and again, like I can't imagine that the cost of them getting that from the Weinstein Company, if they even could, would be worth passing that on to the consumers when you could just go and buy like a $15 Blu-ray of that film, I think on like, you know, Amazon or whatever. That's like a decent copy. And then Ashes of Time, like I said, I think Sony owns that. I'm not totally sure, and maybe it just wasn't worth the cost. That one is the biggest head scratcher to me. My Blueberry Nights and the Grandmaster makes sense to me. Ashes of Time, my assumption would be there was some kind of negotiation there that didn't pan out. So now the other kind of major comment that I got was, these films are not being released in their original versions. They've been edited. The aspect ratio is different. The audio is different. This is true. But as I said, there were all these rumors about, you know, this was coming out because Wong Kar-wai was at the Criterion offices over and over again. And my thought was, there's no way that Wong Kar-wai would be directly involved in this and that Criterion would be changing it without his approval. So I did some digging, and I found notes from Wong Kar-wai about the changes to his films for this box set. And I'm going to read those to you now so that you can get an idea of what's going on with those changes. So these are notes from Wong Kar-wai about the restorations of the films, okay? And actually, let me read you this quote first, because he talks about his kind of dilemma in approaching the restorations, and how he wasn't really sure whether he wanted to change anything yet here. So here's his quote. "We were caught in a dilemma between restoring these films to the form in which the audience had remembered them and releasing them as I originally envisioned them. There was so much that we could change, and I decided to take the second path, as it would represent my most vivid vision of these films. I invite the audience to join me in starting afresh, as these are not the same films, and we are no longer the same audience." So that's Wong Kar-wai's take on why he changed what he changed. So now I'm going to read you what he wrote about those changes. "Chungking Express and In the Mood for Love were shot and released theatrically on 1.66 to 1, one of my favorite aspect ratios, but they were converted to 1.85 to 1 on Videogram. Since most people experienced these films on Videogram, it perpetuated the belief that they were shot on 1.85 to 1. With these restorations, you will be watching them in their original aspect ratios. With Fallen Angels, I have changed the format to CinemaScope because it was originally what I had intended to release the film in. When we were cutting the film, we accidentally turned the Steenbeck on anamorphic instead of standard." I'm assuming that's like the editing machine, the Steenbeck. "I felt that the film looked more interesting because it enhanced the distance of the characters on top of the extreme wide angle that we shot on. Back then, it was impossible to shoot a film in standard and release it in anamorphic. With this restoration, we have successfully fulfilled this wish." So there you go. That's Wong Kar-wai talking about the aspect ratios. Sound mixing. "Chungking Express was made before 5.1 surround sound, so we had to retool the settings and sound configurations this time. Likewise, we remixed In the Mood for Love, and Robert McKenzie did a great job as we collaborated remotely during the pandemic." Credits. "We created new credits for a consistent look throughout the films. They are also a reminder to our audience that these are the restored versions." And then Happy Together. "During a fire accident in 2019, we lost some of the original negative of Happy Together. In the ensuing months, we tried to restore the negatives as much as we could, but a portion of it had been permanently damaged. We lost not only some of the picture, but also sound in these reels. As a result, I had to shorten some of Tony's monologues, but with the amazing work of La Imagine Ritrovata, which is a company that does like a lot of film restorations, and I don't know if that's French or Italian, but whatever language it is, it's not a language I speak, so I'm sorry about mispronouncing it. We managed to restore most of the scenes to a better quality." Here is his final word. After the premiere of Ashes in Time Redux in 2018, some audience members observed that the film looked different from what they had remembered. I realized that some of our audience discovered the film on pirated copies and suboptimal exhibition venues that presented the film in a different light. Still, some preferred the versions that they had watched because memories are hard to beat. As the saying goes, no man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man. Since the beginning of the process, these words have reminded me to treat this as an opportunity to present these restorations as a new work from a different vantage point in my career. Having arrived at the end of this process, these words still hold true. I invite the audience to join me with starting afresh, as these are not the same films, and we are no longer the same audience. And there you go. So that's Wong Kar-wai speaking on, let me just get my computer out of the way here, why he decided to make the changes he did to his films for this Criterion Collection deluxe Blu-ray box set that is due out in March of 2021, which is super exciting for me because A, it's the same month as the Eureka release of the Lucky Stars trilogy, and B, it's a week before my birthday. Hell yeah. So I told you I would show you my Wong Kar-wai movies, and I have my stack right here. Like I said, there's only 5 of them. I am a big Wong Kar-wai fan, obviously, because he's the person who got me into Hong Kong cinema. I actually met him at an award screening of The Grandmaster, and that was super cool and totally surreal. So these are the films of his that I have on various physical editions. This is the Ashes of Time Redux, which I have on the Sony DVD release here. And there's the disc, and there's the back. There you go. So Criterion also, they have previously released In the Mood for Love and Chungking Express on Blu-ray. So if you're looking for the Chungking Express Blu-ray, I think it's kind of hard to find. The In the Mood for Love one, I think, is still easily available if you're looking for that in a way that's not in any way modified for this box set. Like that stuff does exist and you can find it. So this is the Rolling Thunder release of Chungking Express. So this used to sell for like $1.50 on like half.com and eBay. It's since like skyrocketed in price the last time I looked it up. I'm not entirely sure why, but if you're looking for an old, like a restored or a version of it that's different from the one that's coming out on the box set, look for that, because it used to be really easy to find and not expensive. This is the Kino Blu-ray of Fallen Angels, and I think this is a really good release. I really enjoyed revisiting this film on this release. It's got some good extras on it, and I think the movie looks really good. So there you go. I also just realized that I have the In the Mood for Love Criterion Blu-ray, and I don't have it on me. I lent it to someone, but hopefully I'll have that back soon. And I think I'm going to do a review of that, actually. I'm going to watch all the bonus features and stuff and review that in like anticipation of this other release coming out. So here we have 2046. Like I said, this is a personal favorite of mine. I know that like for a lot of people, In the Mood for Love is like the great film from that era, and like objectively maybe it's a better movie, but this one like really hit me hard when it came out, and I have a really intense like personal love of this film. And I just think it's a great movie. It's totally like out there and bizarre, and I just love it. And then here we have, so I've been told that this is a mainland China bootleg of The Grandmaster. This is the second longest cut of the film. It's not like the super long one. It's the in-between one, so it's longer than the American one. And I actually got this at Amoeba in San Francisco when I was visiting a friend up there before this film was released in the U.S. So I saw this version, and then I saw the international or U.S. cut, whatever you want to call it. So there you go. Criterion Collection, World of Wong Kar-wai, Blu-ray box set. Link in the description where you can get that. Subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Will. This is Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.